It's time for Remodel Revolution Radio. And now, an award-winning contractor with over 40 years' experience. Here is Alex Guthrie.
Welcome to another edition of Remodel Revolution Radio. And it's another wonderful day to be alive. Another gift that I'm so happy that you're here to share with me. Thank you very much for sharing another day with me, another couple of hours on Remodel Revolution Radio. We're so happy to be with you. Hey, I've got a good friend of mine here with me today, Mr. Gary Neidert. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good.
We're so glad you're here today.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Man, I tell you what, it's really kind of an honor having you here because, there's more hair in this studio than there's been in days. Since I've been here. You know, you got more hair around your chin than I've got on my head, which is, that ain't saying much. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good.
Just trying to wake up. I'm not used to getting up and about this early on Saturday mornings.
Really?
Right.
Well, you need a job.
I need a job.
Or your wife needs to. Maybe you need a yard.
Oh, she had me on the honeydew list last week. So.
Well, you didn't finish it, so you told her that you had, honey, I have something else I need to do.
Right.
Alex called.
Yeah.
Hey, the phone lines are open. If you're listening on, hey, we've got a new affiliate, 620 AM KEXB in Dallas.
Cool.
You can listen on the AM dial there, or you can stream it. If you're in front of your computer, you can just key in there on the search window, 620 AM KEXB. Click, click, click. Couple little things right there. I did it yesterday. It takes about 30 seconds. Stream it live. It's great. Sounds great.
Or old school, like I did this morning in the truck. I was listening to that station as I was driving.
Just drive on in, listen to it. It's got a great signal. Or if you want to really, really enjoy it and see these two beautiful faces, well, I don't get too carried away. You Facebook Live us, and we've got a great audience. Our screen's already full. It's fantastic. We'd love to see everybody on Facebook Live. Thank you very much for being here. Phone lines are open today. 800. I'm looking at the old number. I don't know, for some reason I printed up my program from an old show. It's not a 214. It's an 800-281-8255. That's 800-281-8255. I'm so used to looking at a piece of paper with a number on it and reading it. That's our phone line. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. We got a lot of things we're going to talk about today. Also, Alex at remodelrevolutionradio.com. If you have a comment, as long as it's nice. Somehow those ugly comments seem to go away.
Disappear.
I don't know how that happens.
Yeah. Vaporize.
They vaporize.
Yeah.
Check out our website, www.remodelrevolutionradio.com. All kinds of cool stuff on that place. And it's getting better. It's still growing. We're still developing it. We've got a podcast. We're still loading programs up on it. We're building it. We're just kind of getting all these things going as we go. I've got a podcast series. Did I tell you about my podcast series that I'm doing?
Yeah, I listened to the very first one, and it was really, really good.
Yeah.
You were with Steve Lawton.
Yeah.
And,
that came out good.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
I'm looking forward to the next.
So I'm going to do a series called Women in Construction, and I just locked it all up yesterday with the final couple of ladies.
Cool.
I have a lady in Park City, Utah. I have a lady in Alberta, Canada. I have a lady in Albuquerque, a lady in Boston, and a lady right here in Denton. And they're all women that have done various things in construction, owned companies, run companies, started companies. It's going to be really fascinating. They're all dynamic women that have changed the kind of the face of these businesses. They have great stories. And And what has inspired me to do this is having been in this business all my life, and it's always been a male driven business, male dominated, obviously. Women have gone from being just designers and sort of housewives that converted to designers,
Yeah.
I designed my own kitchen, so now I'm a designer. That's the 70s and 80s. I can be a designer. I helped my neighbor do it. Now they're contractors. And they're good.
And they're good. Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
And they're tough.
Yeah.
And the guys are afraid of them.
That's good.
They don't mess with them.
That's good.
They don't mess with them.
Yeah.
And they bring a dynamic, and they're intelligent. I was talking to one of them yesterday, and she said, I asked a builder what his business plan was. How many houses did he need to sell to make a profit? And he looked at me and he said, what are you talking about? And so it's like, boy, howdy, have things changed.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's the difference between, what it used to be, a builder was a guy with a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And now a builder's got to be a guy with a brain.
Yeah.
Or a lady with a brain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to that series because of the need of women in this industry.
mhm.
And I've been able to find some articles on the internet. I watched a video of these ladies doing a roof. They were re-roofing a home.
Mhm.
They were just getting after it.
And guess what?
What?
They're going to be here.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be here.
That's good.
And she's cool.
Yeah.
I talked to her. Robin Garten.
Yeah.
She's going to be in this studio. She's in Alberta, Canada, or Edmonton, somewhere. Canada.
Now she's moving to Texas.
Well, I don't know that she's moving here. She's looking at houses. She said she's looking at houses in Houston. We didn't get into whether she's moving here. Maybe she's looking at hurricane houses. I don't know. Anyway, she's going to be here, and we are going to have I talked to her for a little. She's a hoot. That girl is, and she's like, Canadian Texan. That's going to be.
Now you've seen the vehicle that she drives.
I did. I hope she drives it.
That great big old Hummer with the pink logos and stuff. Yeah.
Right on.
Yep.
Right on.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we're going to have a great time.
Yep.
And so I'm super excited about that. I'm going to do another podcast series I'm planning on. I'm getting ready to set it up now. And that one is going to be, I want to do a podcast series on first generation immigrants that have started businesses in the building industry.
That'll be a good one.
Because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Now we've got, of course, a lot of Latinos that have come up from Central America and Mexico. That's been a big part of our building trade for years. But there's a lot of Europeans.
Mm-hmm.
We've got people that I know from England,
mm-hmm.
from France.
Mm-hmm.
I know a French guy.
Yeah.
I know a guy from Eastern Europe.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of people from, this is just such, when you start looking at what a melting pot this country is,
mm-hmm.
and these people that have come over, we always think in Texas, we think the world is South America and Central America, because that's what we see.
Yeah.
But the truth is that it's from all over the world.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Middle Eastern people here that are builders, have
mm-hmm.
companies here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to do another podcast series because their stories are great too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're coming from little dirt towns and dirt road towns and getting out of really bad situations and coming up here and starting over and doing well.
Yeah.
They're driven by poverty and all kinds of stuff.
The escape of poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
And I've run across some of my clients, prospects from other countries. And one of them in particular was from France. And very interesting fella. Enjoyed talking with him, enjoyed doing business with him.
Mm-hmm. So phone lines are open. We would love to hear from you. 800-281-8255. That's 800-281-TALK. I learned to spell from the phone dial. That's how long I've been in radio. But that's the only word I know how to spell. We're going to talk a little bit about what Gary does. Gary is the guru of home and garden shows. And there are some odd characters that inhabit the booths of those home and garden shows. So if you're planning to do a project around your house, it's not a bad idea to visit a home and garden show.
Absolutely.
Talk to some of the people out there that are exhibiting. I know that, of course, in my previous radio life, I've done many home and garden broadcasts from home and garden shows. I met a lot of fine people there. We've had a lot of fun. Gary and I have known each other for years for me doing that. And your first one is in 3 weeks?
3 weeks. Yes, sir.
Goodness
August 17th.
Gracious.
Yeah.
Already.
These 3 weeks are going to go by very, very fast.
Yeah. Wow. Also, next hour, we're going to have Duffy Frazier from Quality Insulation and Cody Wilson from Owens Corning. We're going to talk about a new way to seal a house from the inside. It's a new product that Owens Corning's trying out now. It's in the testing phase, but I think it's going to be really successful. I've already had a builder friend of mine that's watching the show today. He's really interested in it. That'll be in our second hour, which is our Facebook hour. It's our podcast hour that we have right now. It'll be a really interesting show. It's called Aero Barrier, and it is going to be, it is kind of where they put a mist, they put a positive pressure inside the house that would blow air out of the house, and then they put this mist in the house and it blows it out and fills all the holes. We'll let him explain. It's a very interesting idea. Also, there's it's big things happening in the Remodel Revolution World Headquarters. The team has been working hard to put together these, like I say, these podcast series where we should have our hot button on the website here any day now, where you can just go click and go right to the podcast. I haven't talked to them yet to see if they got it there. They were supposed to. I haven't looked. I haven't had time. I've been busy trying to put them together. Where we just are getting our podcast up on Spreaker and Spotify and all these other places. So there's a way to find it. Also, how long can your house stay unfinished and unconditioned? Now, I'm dealing with this right now in a house that I'm doing for some people. That this house has been unfinished they started the project 3 years ago. I don't know. They've had some problems. They've had big problems. And they always call Captain Remodel. Let's call Alex, because we've got huge problems.
Alex can fix it.
We'll beat him up. We're tired of beating this other guy up. Let's call Alex. They started this thing 3 years ago. A 6 month, probably a 12-month project. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from our sponsors because they keep us going. You're listening to Remodel Revolution Radio. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Some people think the only thing worse than calling the dentist is calling the foundation repairman. That's why I recommend Hargrave Foundation Repair. Cracks in the walls, doors that won't close, give the folks at Hargrave Foundation a call. Now, sometimes it's not the foundation at all. That's why you need an honest, proven company. You see, understanding the soils and weather is a must for a lifetime repair. Family owned and operated since 1968, Hargrave has seen it all. Hargrave Foundation Repair is fully licensed and insured, and their staff stays up to date on all the latest techniques and advances. So call one of the last independently owned foundation companies in North Texas and the exclusive installer of the Chance helical pier system. Call Hargrave Foundation Repair at 972-442-3415. That's 972-442-3415. Hargrave Foundation Repair, 972-442-3415. Alex Guthrie here for my friends at Total Air and Heat. Did you know a typical AC unit runs enough hours in a year equal to a car running 60,000 miles? Total Air and Heat recommends that you tune your system and have it safety checked every 6 months to ensure peak efficiency, proper operation, and increase the life of the system. Need a new air conditioning and heating system? No problem. Total Air and Heat can replace your equipment with the best equipment on the market today. Train. And you know it's hard to stop a train. So for the best heating and air conditioning contractors in North Dallas and Plano for the past 60 years, call my friends at Total Air and Heat, 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020. Or visit them online at totalair.com. Total Air and Heat. So what does a garage door do besides enhance your home, protect your family, and secure your vehicles? Well, when you contact the pros at Windsor Door, you'll learn how a truly high-quality garage door company can make a difference. Insulated doors, carriage-style doors, steel and custom wood, Windsor Door has them all and much, much more. And nothing makes a garage door work better than a high-quality opener. That's why the folks at Windsor Door only use LiftMaster garage door openers. And it's no wonder LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Only LiftMaster has patented MyQ technology, which alerts you if you forget to close your garage door and lets you close it from anywhere, anytime with built-in Wi-Fi technology. It also has battery backup, so you can get in even when the power's out. So contact a Windsor Door dealer near you at windsordor.com.
Say you want a revolution, well, you know.
Now, back to Remodel Revolution Radio with the fifth Beatle himself, Alex Guthrie.
800-281-8255. Give us a call if you got a question or a comment, as long as you're talking about how good I look and the fact that Gary should be sharing some of his hair. That's not even fair, is it?
It'll be white if it comes off the chin.
Hey, white's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter as long as you can comb it and cut it. This segment is brought to you by Total Air and Heat. Total Air and Heat, we're not comfortable until you are. TotalAir.com. Give my boys there a call. They're awesome. Do a lot of work with those guys. Unexpected meth contamination keeps family out of newly purchased home.
What a shock to expect to move into your home and then find that out.
You ain't kidding.
Ooh.
Yeah. For the past year, the Tubbs family has slept in trailers in their yard after discovering their new home was contaminated by meth. This is in Oregon. They've got 7 kids? 7 kids. They bought 2 acres. This was their dream home, their dream property. Then they got the home inspection. They get the home inspection and they get the results back. And guess what? Meth contamination, and most of it's in the air conditioning ducts. So it's not like you can just go in, prime paint the walls or do whatever, clean the walls off. This stuff's in bad places. And the price they get to decontaminate whatever they need to do, which I guess is gut the house back to the studs, $500,000. $500,000.
Man.
All right.
So would that include not only the demo and the rebuilding, but is there something special they have to do to take care of all the meth that's left behind?
Well, I guess they can't burn the trash.
Don't light a match in the house.
I'm just making an assumption.
Wow.
Cleaning was quoted at $84,000 to renovate and gut the structures. $500,000. They bought the property, so that's $584,000, right? They bought the property, including the 2 acres, for $375,000.
Oh man.
I think they're kind of upside down. So of course they call the lawyer and the carpet bombing starts. Everybody's getting sued. The owner, who happened to be one of the real estate, I don't understand. There's all, everybody's got a piece of the action. The real estate guy, the inspector, the whoever.
Well, wouldn't the inspector discover something like that? Or
Not necessarily.
No.
Not necessarily. I mean, you don't necessarily go in as an inspector and do an air quality inspection and inspect for something like that. That would oftentimes be something that is just, requested, I think.
Yeah.
Now, next week, we're going to have a home inspector on, and so we'll find out.
Yeah. And that would be a
we'll
good
ask
question.
that question.
Yeah.
We'll ask that question. But it's interesting that these are the types of things people are having to deal with now.
Yeah.
It used to be lead and asbestos and, nice things.
Right.
Now it's meth.
Meth.
And
Well,
that apparently is not a super uncommon.
years ago, we lived in a small house, starter neighborhood. And we were there in 3 years, I guess, something like that. We moved out, and we found out about a year after we moved, there were several houses across and down the street from where we lived. We found out a year later, one of those houses was a meth house.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what they had to
You
do.
mean like your neighbors were meth neighbors?
Yeah. Had no idea. Yeah. We didn't.
I mean, were they nice neighbors? They're nice guys?
Well, they were across the street and down the road a little bit. So we
They had a
didn't,
lot of people parked in the front yard.
we didn't pay attention.
No gunshots.
No gunshot.
Nothing blew up in the kitchen.
Not that we knew of.
No, no,
No fire trucks called.
No cops showing up
no
in the
police,
middle of the night. Everybody was quiet.
Yeah.
Just the meth. The meth.
Yeah, but that was over 20 years ago. That was 23 years ago.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, we're living in different times.
Remodelers sue Home Advisor, claiming they got bogus leads. Plaintiffs claim digital marketplace concealed information about its services and charged thousands of dollars for worthless contact info. Well, that's like old kind of news between builders and these referral groups. There was a time many years ago when I joined one of them. There's like they all buy each other. So there was like Service Magic, which I joined 20 years ago when they first came out, because it looked like, it could be kind of fun. Nah. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about this a little bit because it's kind of interesting, because it involves a homeowner and the builder. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Remodel Revolution Radio. Don't go away. We'll be right back. So what does a garage door do besides enhance your home, protect your family, and secure your vehicles? Well, when you contact the pros at Windsor Door, you'll learn how a truly high-quality garage door company can make a difference. Insulated doors, carriage-style doors, steel and custom wood, Windsor Door has them all and much, much more. And nothing makes a garage door work better than a high-quality opener. That's why the folks at Windsor Door only use LiftMaster garage door openers. And it's no wonder LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Only LiftMaster has patented MyQ technology, which alerts you if you forget to close your garage door and lets you close it from anywhere, anytime with built-in Wi-Fi technology. It also has battery backup, so you can get in even when the power's out. So contact a Windsor Door dealer near you at windsordor.com. Alex Guthrie here for my friends at Total Air and Heat. Did you know a typical AC unit runs enough hours in a year equal to a car running 60,000 miles? Total Air and Heat recommends that you tune your system and have it safety checked every 6 months to ensure peak efficiency, proper operation, and increase the life of the system. Need a new air conditioning and heating system? No problem. Total Air and Heat can replace your equipment with the best equipment on the market today. Train. And you know it's hard to stop a train. So for the best heating and air conditioning contractors in North Dallas and Plano for the past 60 years, call my friends at Total Air and Heat, 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020. Or visit them online at totalair.com. Total Air and Heat. Some people think the only thing worse than calling the dentist is calling the foundation repairman. That's why I recommend Hargrave Foundation Repair. Cracks in the walls? Doors that won't close? Give the folks at Hargrave Foundation a call. Now, sometimes it's not the foundation at all. That's why you need an honest, proven company. You see, understanding the soils and weather is a must for a lifetime repair. Family owned and operated since 1968, Hargrave has seen it all. Hargrave Foundation Repair is fully licensed and insured, and their staff stays up to date on all the latest techniques and advances. So call one of the last independently owned foundation companies in North Texas and the exclusive installer of the Chance Helical Pier system. Call Hargrave Foundation Repair at 972-442-3415. That's 972-442-3415. Hargrave Foundation Repair, 972-442-3415. 800-281-8255. Give us a call, ask a question, stump the contractor. Good luck with that. That can't happen because he knows all. Give it a try, though. 800-281-8255. That's 800-281-TALK, T-A-L-K. Or ask a question on Facebook Live. Go to Alex Guthrie or Alex at alexguthrie.net on the search screen. You'll find us there. Home improvement companies from 8 states have filed suit against Home Advisor, alleging the digital marketplace misrepresented its services, provided illusory leads, we're trying to figure out how to say that word, and engaged in deceptive and fraudulent sales practices with home service provider members. Now, there was a time when I belonged to one of those years and years ago, and what happens is, times will get kind of slow, and you start worrying about business coming in. You want to keep it going, and they call you. They're always calling me. They call me every week. And you start thinking, oh, man, they'll call you and they'll go, we've had 4 people call in and need new kitchens this week, and we don't have any builders. why don't you just join up, man? And we'll send you these leads right now. Right now. Can you handle more business? And you go, okay, I'll do it. And you do it. And then you call the homeowner, and the homeowner goes, man, I've had 25 people call me this morning. And this is after they have told you they're only going to give 3 names out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very frustrating. I mean, I had one homeowner laugh at me. It was awful. And
because you were one in many that called.
One in like 20.
Gosh.
And he said, not only that, he said, I have them driving by my house. I was like, you poor guy. It's so, you know, this stuff happens.
Yeah.
And it's not good. And so what happens is they make these promises. Now, you and I talked about this earlier. There was a problem with one of the other ones. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get sued too.
Right.
But there's a problem with another one. And the builders are handing the homeowners gift cards and vacation trips and all kinds of little candy.
Yeah.
And saying,
incentives.
Would you please put a nice review for me, put like really nice review for me on this referral thing? And they'd go, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, sure. For $100 gift card. You bet.
And so I'm not really sure that's ethical on the builder's part or the homeowner's part, or it kind of takes away from the legitimacy of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Well, it gets back to, is it a legitimate review in the sense that what makes that different from somebody that just comes on there and says, yeah, they did a great job, but they never actually used the contractor, or which the case has happened in the past. I don't know if it's such a problem now, but and I forgot the term, but people would go on and from the company that was doing the lead generation, and they would put their own reviews up there, glowing reviews about a contractor or whatever. So it was all bogus. So at the end, when people find that out, it causes the consumer to have more distrust of the program overall, I think. Yeah.
I mean, as it should.
Yeah.
It takes away from the whole process.
Yeah.
And, you know, it kind of gets back to what we've always talked about. I've always talked about, and pretty much anybody in this industry has always talked about, it's referral.
Yeah.
It's referral. It's a person-to-person referral.
Building trust. And without trust, it's hard to maintain a business for the long term.
You have to talk to your next door neighbor, somebody that's had experience with these people. You can't, you know, I see this all the time. I see it constantly. They'll call me up and they'll say, well, we hired so-and-so from a big box store, or we've had a horrible experience from some guy we hired from a big box store, or somebody we hired from I've got one right now, and the wife looked at the husband and said, you need to quit hiring these people from X referral service.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm not going to say the name.
Yeah.
And he said, I know.
Well, I've wondered how those referral services really, at the end of the day, work, both for the consumer and for the contractor. I mean, I've got some of my clients have switched over to it, and they give me glowing reports. And I wonder, are you giving me glowing reports for the leads that you get just because you want to save face? Or do you really get good leads out of this thing? And then on the other hand, going back to the consumer, do they do the majority of them have the experience like what you encountered? Oh, I've had 20 calls today. Well, that.
I know several people just recently that have gone through this whole process of trying to get leads from these services that are trying to either start a business and they're paying $75 a lead. I know one of them that got 1 or 2 projects. Projects didn't go so well. Guess what? They're not in business anymore.
Oh, man.
I got news for you, folks. Experience counts.
Yes, it does.
And so just because somebody can pass a background check and a credit check or whatever it is that they do, it doesn't make them experienced enough to come in and spend your $150,000 on your kitchen.
Right.
Okay. There's too many other things that are involved. It takes experience and it takes management skill, and they may have been good at something else before. They may have been good at selling cabinets or being a trim carpenter or being whatever it was they were before they decided to get in business. But getting in business and being the contractor, it takes time to become, proficient at that. And it takes those mistakes, but just jumping in and doing these big jobs, boy, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing to learn. 800-281-8255. That's our call-in number. We're looking for a call.
Call in now.
Call. I don't have anything to give you, but good advice. It's free
Good
advice.
That's
free
worth
advice.
something. Yeah.
Free advice. And a big hello.
Yeah.
And you can listen to us on our new affiliate in Dallas, 620 KEXP. That is the business channel. So if you're smart, you're listening to them anyway. And they're streaming the show. And also Alex at remodelrevolutionradio.com. And of course, Facebook Live, Alex at alexguthrie.net on Facebook Live, or Alex at remodelrevolutionradio.com on Facebook Live. Either one of those will get you here. There's also the Remodel Revolution Radio Facebook page that might get you here. I'm not sure yet if we've got them all tied in yet. We're still working on stuff, but it's all there. It's all being remodeled. Greg says it. That's right. That's right. And so,
that's a lot of addresses to learn.
Listen, it's confusing me. We got the podcast going. We've got the Facebook, the Twitter account. We got Twitter.
Cool.
That's
good.
At Remodel Rev, Remodel REV, Remodel Rev.
Now you can't stream to Twitter, can you? Or
I
can
don't.
you? Okay.
Okay. But I get on Twitter and I say goofy stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have any followers. I think I followed myself 4 or 5 times just so I had some followers. I think you can do that. Can you do that? I think I did.
So
yeah, I like me. I like me a lot.
Yeah. So that's what people need to do now is go and follow Alex on Twitter.
Yeah, go follow Remodel. It's at Remodel Rev on Twitter.
That's your assignment for today.
Yeah.
Follow Alex on Twitter.
And it's great. I love Twitter.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Twitter. It's fun. And what I have loved about my personal Twitter is that it's anonymous. I think that's what everybody likes about Twitter. There's so many people on there. You can just say whatever you want. It just goes into wherever. Nobody. And then all of a sudden you look up, you see one of your friends on there. You go, "Ooh, I wish I hadn't said that." Nailed. But no, Remodel Revolution Radio is on Twitter, and I've liked a bunch of, or whatever you do with Twitter. I guess you like them, whatever you do with them. Followed a lot of industry people. That's the people I'm kind of linking up with. So if you go in there and you follow me on Twitter, you'll be kind of linked up to industry people, designers, builders, people like that. And there's a lot of great things with Twitter. It's really changed a lot. You can do little videos on it and things like that. We're also coming up real soon. We'll have our YouTube live page, and we're getting all our Google stuff going here. We just got all of our Google junk in the mail a few days ago, and I sent it to the smart people, the team at the Remodel Revolution
The
World
tech team.
At the world headquarters. 800-281-8255. Give us a call. So you had a couple of little items with you that you brought today that you thought folks might want to hear about.
Well, this is not so much about remodeling, but I guess it could apply. There's been a lot of stuff about 3D printing using plastic, metal, and so forth. Even some of the aircraft engines, jet engines, they're starting to do 3D printing of the parts for those engines. But have you heard of a 3D printed house?
Yeah. I did one in Austin.
You did one?
No, I didn't. They did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know there was one had been done in Austin. But that's one of the articles I found that these 3D printed houses could be 1/10 the price of regular homes. Now, this was done in Europe, Estonia's University of Tartu, and the Estonian University of Life Sciences, and that they started working on all this. But here's the interesting part: they created a promising solution in the form of a 3D printable concrete style material that's created from milled peat, oil shale ash, and silica nanoparticles.
Well, sounds like stuff I got laying around the house.
Hey, yeah.
Hey.
Let's go do a 3D printed house this afternoon, But it sounds interesting, and I kind of think there might be some possibilities in the future.
So what is that stuff again? What was it?
It was milled peat.
Milled peat. So that comes out of the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oil shale ash.
Oil shale ash.
And silica nanoparticles.
Which is basically sand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the only real interesting one that in my mind is kind of out there is the peat. And it said peat has excellent antibacterial and thermal properties and is inexpensive and widely available in many regions in the world.
Well, essentially, it sounds like they made a substitute for concrete's what they
exactly.
Made.
Yeah. But the shale ash and the silica, is that used in concrete here in America?
Well, shale ash is just ash is just basically ash. I've studied that because they're trying to use ash, which from power plants, they're trying to use it as a filler in concrete. They've been trying to do that for years, trying to figure out how that could work. And they have been using it, and it with marginal success as a filler instead of sand. And it does work if you have the right stuff. So I guess I don't know where the shale. It could be a binding agent, it could be. I'm not smart enough to know. I just know they put it in there.
Yeah.
And instead of as a filler.
Yeah. So basically, to me, it sounds like they're using the materials available, the cheap, inexpensive materials available in those particular locations to build an affordable home. And they went on down here to say that a house shell with a surface area of up to 490 square feet could be printed for around $5,800.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break. 800-281-8255. When we come back, I expect somebody to be on that phone line asking us some amazing question. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Some people think the only thing worse than calling the dentist is calling the foundation repairman. That's why I recommend Hargrave Foundation Repair. Cracks in the walls, doors that won't close, give the folks at Hargrave Foundation a call. Now, sometimes it's not the foundation at all. That's why you need an honest, proven company. You see, understanding the soils and weather is a must for a lifetime repair. Family owned and operated since 1968, Hargrave has seen it all. Hargrave Foundation Repair is fully licensed and insured, and their staff stays up to date on all the latest techniques and advances. So call one of the last independently owned foundation companies in North Texas and the exclusive installer of the Chance helical pier system. Call Hargrave Foundation Repair at 972-442-3415. That's 972-442-3415. Hargrave Foundation Repair, 972-442-3415. Alex Guthrie here for my friends at Total Air and Heat. Did you know a typical AC unit runs enough hours in a year equal to a car running 60,000 miles? Total Air and Heat recommends that you tune your system and have it safety checked every 6 months to ensure peak efficiency, proper operation, and increase the life of the system. Need a new air conditioning and heating system? No problem. Total Air and Heat can replace your equipment with the best equipment on the market today. Train. And you know it's hard to stop a train. So for the best heating and air conditioning contractors in North Dallas and Plano for the past 60 years, call my friends at Total Air and Heat, 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020. Or visit them online at totalair.com. Total Air and Heat. So what does a garage door do besides enhance your home, protect your family, and secure your vehicles? Well, when you contact the pros at Windsor Door, you'll learn how a truly high-quality garage door company can make a difference. Insulated doors, carriage-style doors, steel and custom wood, Windsor Door has them all and much, much more. And nothing makes a garage door work better than a high-quality opener. That's why the folks at Windsor Door only use LiftMaster garage door openers. And it's no wonder LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Only LiftMaster has patented MyQ technology, which alerts you if you forget to close your garage door and lets you close it from anywhere, anytime with built-in Wi-Fi technology. It also has battery backup, so you can get in even when the power's out. So contact a Windsor Door dealer near you at windsordor.com. Right on.
Good choice there.
Right
I
on.
like that.
Oh, that's right.
It was 1989. My thoughts were short. My hair was long.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Remodel Revolution Radio. I'm your host, Alex Guthrie, and I'm here with Gary Neidert. You're like the guru of home and garden stuff.
Garden shows.
Yeah. So you got something coming up here in 3 weeks. Your first one of how many this fall do you have to?
We'll have 4 shows altogether this fall. We'll have Fort Worth, which is in 3 weeks. Then we do Dallas. And then in October, we'll have Houston and San Antonio.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of traveling. You get on the road.
I'm very fortunate that I don't go to Houston or San Antonio. I get to stay up here in the Dallas Fort Worth
so
area.
you just direct. What do you sell the? What do you do? What do you do?
What do I do?
What do you do?
A lot of people probably ask that. What do you really do?
Every
Gary?
time they sign your paycheck.
Yeah. No, what I do is I sell the exhibit space for the shows. Yeah, I work with all types of companies that
That's probably kind of like herding cats.
Sometimes, yes. Yeah. Sometimes it is.
So you've got this piece of paper with all these little squares on it with numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and someone calls you up and says, "Okay, I want to rent a little space here, a little square
Mm-hmm.
for my business to exhibit during your show, and you go, fine. And then they call you up and they go, I don't like where that's across from the bathroom. I don't want that one. That's ugly. Find me a better spot.
And that's happened.
I bet it does. I bet it does.
Yeah, there's been times where a show gets down to where we don't have much left, and there was a booth literally right next to the entrance of the men's bathroom, but people wanted to be in the show bad enough that they took that booth. But there's been other times that people they want to be in.
What's better, the women's bathroom or the men's bathroom?
Well, considering that the women make the majority of the decisions,
I'd say, yeah. I put a big red cone in front of it.
Yeah.
Make them stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like if you were selling a certain product, that's where you'd want to be.
Yeah.
Certain,
Yeah.
chocolate candy. I don't know. Something.
Well, even remodeling services, the wife generally tends to steer that.
That's right.
That process.
That's absolutely right. But not the manly kind. Like kitchen stuff.
Right.
If you're doing a kitchen in front, you'd want to be next to the women.
Yeah.
But if you're doing garages, you'd want to be next to the man.
Yeah. The man cave.
Selling
man caves.
Right.
Catch him going in and out of the bathroom.
There's a certain bathroom psychology
That's
that
right.
happens
That's
in
right.
all this.
It's a real art and a science.
So do you have any big shows or anything? Any big exhibitors? Anything special going on in any of your shows this year?
In Fort Worth, we've got a remodeling contractor who is veteran owned.
Oh, that's cool.
And he has partnered up with, I don't remember the exact name of the organization, but let's see if I can find it here. But he's partnered up with them. It's called the Veterans Resource Center of Dallas, and they work with homeless veterans. And he's making it a point to advertise about when people come to the show, if they would bring some items off a list that he has on the website, toiletries, things like that, for the homeless veterans, they'll get a $3 discount off the admission price.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so we
shouldn't even have a homeless veteran.
I agree.
That's
totally agree.
Just infuriating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good for him. I'll go just for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want him to go in there. I'll just take something. So everybody that's listening, just go down there. That's the Fort Worth show?
Fort Worth show at Will Rogers.
Okay, so go down to Will Rogers, take something just for the homeless veterans.
Right.
Just go for that.
Veterans Resource Center.
Or contact Veterans Resource Center.
Yeah.
And donate anyway.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to go.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. So what else is going on?
We've got, we got all kinds of
Are
cool
you all
stuff.
sold out on your shows?
We're close.
Yeah.
We're very close.
So you have a lot of, do you think that this nice hot economy is helping?
Well, in some ways, no.
Really?
Because in trying to contact people that normally are
they
on
don't
the show,
feel like they need it.
they're too busy.
Uh-huh.
And but that's a kind of, to me, it's kind of a dangerous place to get into. As in, well, I'm too busy to do that. I've got to deal with it right now.
Right.
But if they cut off the marketing of their business, then it gets into a cycle.
Exactly.
Well, I don't have any business, but I don't have any place to market my business to right now. So, but I've seen this happen before. Back in the late 90s, there were businesses, contractors that say, I'm too busy to do the show. I would love to, but I have too much work going on.
It's a real struggle for a small business.
Mm-hmm.
And when we come back from this, we're not going to be coming back from this break for a little bit because we're going to take a top of the hour break, but we will talk about it in the next hour at some point. We're going to be leaving you guys on the radio and coming back on Facebook Live. Get on Facebook and stay with the show. We'll be right back after this break. And talk into it this time.
I will.
Pull it,
Make sure you keep that in your face and not talk directly into it.
Who said that?
Huh? No, God.
It was God.
It was God.
I would say it would be the voices in your head, but we don't want them to come out in the show. So,
Yeah,
That's probably not
please, no.
so he knows you well. Then I can already tell.
It reminds me of a story.
It's time for Remodel Revolution Radio. And now, an award-winning contractor with over 40 years' experience. Here is Alex Guthrie.
Welcome back to another segment, another episode of Remodel Revolution Radio. And I'm still here with my good friend, Mr. Gary Neidert, who's co-hosting with me today. Hello, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. And joining us is Duffy Frazier with Quality Insulation. Hello, Mr. Frazier.
Good morning.
Hey, he's talking today. Wow. And Cody Wilson with Owens Corning.
Good
How are
morning.
you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Glad you could make it. And we invited you guys because you have, Cody is the guru of pink stuff.
Yes.
Are you like pink guy?
Yes. And air sealing. Been doing a lot of air sealing.
So the Aero Barrier, we were going to talk about this Aero Barrier because I was talking to Duffy about this, and it really piqued my interest. No pun intended. And we were. This is kind of a new. Is this a fairly new system that you guys have rolled out?
Yeah. Well, it's not our system. Aerobarrier is a separate company.
Okay.
So what I do for Owens Corning is I work for solutions for builders. I don't sell products per se. So I've been in the energy consulting business for about 15 years, helping builders air seal house, build better homes throughout California and different parts of the U.S. So when we're looking at the house as a system, the most important thing when it comes to our product, like insulation, is the best thing you can do is air seal the house first, then improve the thermal performance. The hard part is there's no easy way to really air seal a home.
So let's explain. Let's back up a little bit. Let's explain exactly what does air seal mean.
So when you talk about air sealing a house, you're talking about not letting unwanted air from the outside coming in.
Okay.
So
it's literally air sealing. It's like screwing the top on the mason jar a little tighter.
right, and how to measure that, it's kind of like, when we pressurize a house, it's the same thing as the way you kind of pressurize a tire. You put the air inside there, you put it in water and look for all the little bubbles. Well, that's kind of what we do on a house, is we pressurize that house with a fan and try to find where all the leaks are in the house and try to seal it up. Because the less unwanted air, because right now it's 105 degrees out today, You got all the humidity, you got dust, you got bugs, you got all these things coming into your house that you can't control. So the science behind it is what you want to do is stop that air from coming in and then control it with mechanical ventilation. So make it tight, ventilate it right. So that's why it's so important to make sure that if you get that unwanted air in the house, you can control the elements within inside your home.
And so you fill it up like a balloon.
Correct. You fill it up with air, and then based upon it's called pascals, but it's the same thing as pressurizing a tire with PSI. So it's the same type of comparison. So you pressurize or depressurize the house, and then all the unwanted air, the machine and the computer will tell you how much air you have coming in that house. So you know what you need to do to try to make it as comfortable.
So you
as
fill
possible.
the house up with air like a balloon, and then you have a machine in there that sort of tells you it kind of tells you how much air is in there and how much is escaping.
Correct.
It measures the pressure or something.
Yes, and we've been doing this type of testing now for about 10 or 15 years.
Okay.
So the way the codes are going is they're making the houses tighter and tighter and tighter. So what the Aero Barrier guys have done is found a way of actually using that same machine to measure the leakage, but also how to plug up the holes and actually see where the air leakage is going to be, get it to the level you want to, and then shut it off. We've never been able to guarantee what your air leakage is going to be in the house. You know, we've done different things here in Texas recently when the codes went down to a tighter air home. We were looking at different ways of air sealing a house. So what we were doing was gasketing the exterior of the house and picture framing the outside and stopping that air from coming in. We learned that from our friends in Canada, where they had to get down to less than 2 air changes per hour, which is a very tight home.
Explain an air change.
So an air change is the movement of air coming through a home within 1 hour. So when you're pressurizing that house like a tire, you have to put it up to like a 50 pascals or a 50 psi. And that's the amount of air going through the home. So what they're telling you is that you can only, code now says you have to be less than 3 air changes per hour.
So in the old days, when we did care about all this stuff, and you had houses that didn't even necessarily have air conditioning.
Correct.
Right? And you had the windows and doors open. You had like 24-hour air change.
Correct. The old ways to ventilate a house was use your finger and lift the window.
Right. And so now
we've gotten smarter. And
we have different conditions.
correct.
We have different homes. They have to perform differently for different reasons.
Correct.
We're introducing an environment to a house now by a man-made environment, where in the past we were introducing a natural environment. So we've totally changed how we're managing the environment inside the home. We are having to manage that environment.
Correct.
Right? I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what you're excuse me, what you're explaining to us is now we're trying to, or having to, control how much air exchanges
that come into the house.
Into the house.
Unwanted pollutants, indoor air quality has been a very hot topic with homeowners lately. Allergens, bugs, dusting, all these things are coming into more play. Homeowners are being more educated through the internet. They're learning more about what's comfortable in their home, and the definition of comfort changes. You can ask 15 different people their definition of comfort. You're going to get 15 different answers.
Sure.
You ask them what energy efficiency is, you'll get the same probably 10 answers of energy efficiency. So it's knowing what that balance is and what's really comfortable to a homeowner in a house.
Sure. And then there's a lot of other environmental issues in a home. It's the things you bring into the home.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, the homeowning industry is also working on that, because you got low VOC paints, you have off gassing on certain products. You're seeing less carpet because of the off gassing and the things that go inside the carpet. So you're seeing more tile floors. So the way we build houses have completely changed in the 15 years that I've been in the industry. So the hard part with air sealing is that it takes a village to air seal a house. It's just not one trade that's responsible for this. So you have all these different trades trying to come in, and we have labor issues. We have quality of construction issues, all these things that these builders have to deal with.
We're having to retrain the trades,
Correct.
because we've all been operating in different worlds, trying to create, collectively create this thing, but we're all on different planes.
Correct.
And now it's showing up, right?
Yes.
And so what you're doing though with this Aero Barrier, what this Aero Barrier is doing, what we've been doing for the last 20 years is plugging holes. We've been going from the outside with cans of foam and whatever.
Right.
And we're plugging holes.
Correct.
We're putting our finger in the dike every time we find somewhere air is going through.
Correct.
What you're doing is from the inside of the house, you're going, nah, that ain't working. And you're going on the inside of the house and you're going, let's do it this way. Let's blow it out and let's fill the holes from the inside.
Correct.
Right.
And so what this machine does is it shoots a mist. So they put tripods throughout the area, and it's all computer generated. So when they put the tripods in the area, they hook the blower door up and they pressurize the house. And so it will tell you how big the house, how much the house is leaking per se. And then they shoot this mist. It's an acrylic base. It's a very safe product. It's about the same process as you would as if you were painting your house, or if you were putting a texture on your walls. So this mist goes into the area, and what it does is it finds the first point of entry coming into the house, this hole. It will fill up any hole up to a half an inch.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Decent. It's a great hole. We got videos showing that we cut a half inch hole, and what it does is it connects to the area of the hole, and then the rest of the product actually starts sticking together till it actually fills the hole up.
So it just starts binding together.
Correct. So it's really important when you hook this up. What the machine does is it measures the humidity and the temperature in the room to make sure that, because these platelets are floating in the air, it's got to be there at a certain time. It's a water-based material, so it has to be above 32
So you want to
degrees.
make sure the cat's not running around anywhere.
Yeah, so nobody's in the house during the air sealing time. But to give you an idea, we just recently did a house a couple weeks ago, and it came in at 7.5 air changes per hour. So if you take that, just take in consideration as a visualization for the people out there, just take a piece of paper, and that a regular size piece of paper. That is 7 air changes if you took every hole in your house and you made one big hole out of it, right? So within 25 minutes of air sealing time, we dropped it down to 1.5 air changes per hour. So take that piece of paper and now grab a business card and put it next to that piece of paper. That's the same size hole at 1.5 air changes per hour.
Wow.
Than doing 7.5 air changes per hour in the house. And it took about 25 minutes to do it.
Wow. And instead of somebody literally going around and with a caulk gun and caulking around the electric plates and all that. So speaking of that, so how far is the house in construction when you do this?
At tape and drywall.
Tape and drywall. So no plate covers, no trims.
Well, you'll still have your plate covers in there, because usually what happens is your painters are coming in and caulking around your plugs, your lights, your recessed can lights, your registers to the drywall, all those different things that your either painter or insulation
So you've got it paint ready.
Correct. All it is tape and mudded, and you have everything ready for paint for them to prep it for paint, and that's it.
So does the house have to be, is this something that would work for basically any house being built, or is this something that you would plan for going in?
No, that's the beauty of this product. Usually when we're air sealing a house, we're doing pre-construction meetings with all the trades and figuring out, we build very complex houses. We don't build square box houses anymore. So some of these builders that we work with are building very intricate homes. You have cathedral ceilings, you have these roundabouts, and those are very hard to seal with the current practices we have now. The nice thing about this is basically what you have to do is do your stage 1 poly seal, where you're sealing, the wires coming in between the penetrations,
right?
All the things that we've been doing for the last 20 years.
The normal stuff.
You insulate the home, you put your drywall on, and this machine does the rest. You don't have to worry about anything else. This machine will air seal the house. We've gotten houses. We just did one in Austin and dropped it down to 0.3 air changes per hour.
Wow.
So take that business card and cut it into thirds, and that's how tight that house was.
So what does this do to the rating of a house?
Well, the ratings are different. And when you talk about going to the rating software, it depends on the climate zone that you're in. So, for instance, if you're going from 3 air changes per hour down to 2 in a climate zone of 2 and 3, let's say.
What climate is that?
Right now
where
in
is
Texas,
that?
we have climate zone 2, 3, and 4. So 2 is anything south of Waco. 3 is everything north of Waco up until you get into
Wichita Falls.
Yeah, up in the Panhandle.
Yeah.
That's climate zone 4.
Right.
So we have 3 climate zones. So climate zone 2 and 3 are 2 is considered a mild climate zone,
Semi-arid.
but it's still humid, regardless of what
Semi-arid,
the
humid,
climate
yeah.
zone is.
Yeah.
We're still in a hot, humid,
Right.
and you consider Austin a mild climate zone. It was still 105 degrees last week with 70% humidity.
It's all relative.
Right. So the climate zone to me is just a guide to help you figure out what needs to go in the home, a minimum of what needs to go into a house.
I got you.
So you can, and your HER scale, I mean, I don't know how much, we know about a HER score, but a HER score is basically the same way you measure miles per gallon on a car. So the higher, you get 25, 30 miles per gallon. Well, the lower the HER score, the better your house will achieve. So a HER score of 100 is a house built in 2006. So let's say right now we build a house with a HER score of 60. What that tells the homeowner is that this house built right now at a 60 will actually operate 40% better than a house that was built in 2006. So when you're out looking for a house to build, or you're going to buy an older home, it will give you a way to compare an older home to a new home.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about sealing houses. You're listening to Remodel Revolution Radio. Don't go away. We'll be right back. So what does a garage door do besides enhance your home, protect your family, and secure your vehicles? Well, when you contact the pros at Windsor Door, you'll learn how a truly high-quality garage door company can make a difference. Insulated doors, carriage-style doors, steel and custom wood, Windsor Door has them all and much, much more. And nothing makes a garage door work better than a high-quality opener. That's why the folks at Windsor Door only use LiftMaster garage door openers. And it's no wonder LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Only LiftMaster has patented MyQ technology, which alerts you if you forget to close your garage door and lets you close it from anywhere, anytime with built-in Wi-Fi technology. It also has battery backup, so you can get in even when the power's out. So contact a Windsor Door dealer near you at windsordor.com. Alex Guthrie here for my friends at Total Air and Heat. Did you know a typical AC unit runs enough hours in a year equal to a car running 60,000 miles? Total Air and Heat recommends that you tune your system and have it safety checked every 6 months to ensure peak efficiency, proper operation, and increase the life of the system. Need a new air conditioning and heating system? No problem. Total Air and Heat can replace your equipment with the best equipment on the market today. Train. And you know it's hard to stop a train. So for the best heating and air conditioning contractors in North Dallas and Plano for the past 60 years, call my friends at Total Air and Heat, 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020. Or visit them online at totalair.com. Total Air and Heat. Some people think the only thing worse than calling the dentist is calling the foundation repairman. That's why I recommend Hargrave Foundation Repair. Cracks in the walls, doors that won't close, give the folks at Hargrave Foundation a call. Now, sometimes it's not the foundation at all. That's why you need an honest, proven company. You see, understanding the soils and weather is a must for a lifetime repair. Family owned and operated since 1968, Hargrave has seen it all. Hargrave Foundation Repair is fully licensed and insured, and their staff stays up to date on all the latest techniques and advances. So call one of the last independently owned foundation companies in North Texas and the exclusive installer of the Chance helical pier system. Call Hargrave Foundation Repair at 972-442-3415. That's 972-442-3415. Hargrave Foundation Repair, 972-442-3415. Welcome back. Welcome back to Remodel Revolution Radio. Hey, Gary had a great question.
Yes.
So, go ahead.
Okay. Well, as you were talking, it sounded like everything now has been for new construction. What about an existing home? Can you do that with an existing home?
Yes, you technically could do it with an existing house. And I'm glad that you asked that question, because on the retrofit market, most people ask me, what can I do to make my house more efficient? And the number one thing you can do before you change windows or anything is air seal up the house. This mist that's going into the air won't hit your walls or anything that's vertical. But when you're done air sealing it, that mist goes down to your floor. So anything like your granite countertops, your furniture, flooring, stuff like that would have to be covered, but you technically could do it. So it would take a lot of prep to go ahead and do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it can be done on the retro side. Now, this technology is kind of new to the fact where right now they were filling a need for new construction because of the way the codes are going and the way how houses are trying to be air sealed and how hard it is to get a consistent number.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be worth it to do just a section of a house? Like if you were doing a room addition on a house, or if you had a part of a house that was leaky?
For sure. You can isolate that house, pressurize that room.
Cost-wise, does it make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, air sealing is the number one cost-effective thing that you could do to a house. Most people, they'll go in there, they'll change out their windows, windows are important, but that's a very cost.
What if I have a really old house? Maybe it's sheetrocked.
Right.
Doesn't have insulation in the walls. Does that make any sense to do anything like that, where you're just sealing around stuff? I know you're not going to seal the walls, but sealing around windows and doors and things like that.
For sure. I mean, if you're at a gut stage, or you just have the drywall in the house and you're doing a whole remodel. Matter of fact, we did a multifamily unit I think it was Chicago, and that house came in at 17 air changes per hour. It was a 1940s model, and they dropped it down to 4 air changes per hour within 45 minutes of air sealing. So it can be done on the retro market. It just all depends on how much prep you want to put or what stage the house is in.
That's interesting. So it's got a lot. It's more versatile than just new homes.
Correct. Multifamily is a big one too, because we have a hard time air sealing with the common walls. And so when you talk about multifamily, it's even harder to air seal in a house. So we have houses right now, or multifamily units through the U.S., where we've gotten it down to 0.8 air changes per hour on a multifamily unit. And the reason why that's just important in multifamily, you think about sound and smell. You don't want, whatever your neighbors are doing, you don't want to smell that, especially if you're like in Colorado or something. But, you have all these different things. If you have a neighbor that smokes, you don't want that getting into your house. So that's important on a multifamily level, especially when you're dealing with a high rise. So there's multiple benefits. One of the biggest benefits that I've seen when you're designing the house, when you're looking at this technology, is on the HVAC side of the system. So when you're designing your air conditioning unit and your ventilation strategy, well, there's a fudge factor in there that the contractors want to put in based upon the size of tunning for the air conditioning, right? And they'll go in there and say, okay, well, we'll do this between 3 and 4 air changes per hour, but we know that if we go down to 2 and you get the 4, well, I'm going to get the call back and I'm going to have issues with my HVAC contractor. This gives the contractor the ability to know what this house is going to test at every single time, and now you can get an accurate design in your HVAC.
What's happening, though, is we've taken the old way of figuring tonnage away from the guy that you call to do. You can't call the repair guy and have him come in there and goes, well, yeah, you've got 3,000 square feet. That's, 6 tons of air or whatever he was doing. You can't do that anymore.
No.
You have to actually use a formula, and you have to figure a lot of different things in. And now that you introduce something like this, that's a whole new ball game.
It is, and it's still, even with the manual JD&Ss that they use to calculate heating and air, it's still a guessing game to a point, because you don't know how tight you're going to make that house. This here also takes that guessing game out. So it's really important. And then you talked about on the retrofit side, it's also important too, if you are going to retro a house and you're going to make it airtight, you also got to realize you have old equipment in your house. So if you get that house real tight, now your system could be oversized. And so you could have a system that's short cycling, which means it's coming on and off all the time, and now it's going to even
creates
use more
energy. It creates a whole different set of problems.
Correct.
With humidity levels and with air quality.
Yeah, the biggest thing that we see out here is you're heating and cooling your houses because it's hot here, but 90% of the time your system's dehumidifying your home.
Uh-huh.
So it's not really heating and cooling, you're more dehumidifying. So that's why we're seeing more ventilation systems, that dehumidification systems that are already tied into the system.
Right.
So that way, if the air is not calling for air to get into that room, you're at least getting dehumidification out of the house, and it's not using as much energy to actually use.
And we're seeing a lot of problems with hot spots and cold spots in houses, and a lot of times it's dehumidification and air distribution, where when they install these systems, what I've gone to is adding smaller returns,
jump ducts and stuff like that.
Jump ducts instead of big giant ones everywhere. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more about air conditioning and comfort levels in homes, and we're making them tighter. How do we make them better? You're listening to Remodel Revolution Radio. Don't go away. It's fixing to get better. Some people think the only thing worse than calling the dentist is calling the foundation repairman. That's why I recommend Hargrave Foundation Repair. Cracks in the walls, doors that won't close, give the folks at Hargrave Foundation a call. Now, sometimes it's not the foundation at all. That's why you need an honest, proven company. You see, understanding the soils and weather is a must for a lifetime repair. Family owned and operated since 1968, Hargrave has seen it all. Hargrave Foundation Repair is fully licensed and insured, and their staff stays up to date on all the latest techniques and advances. So call one of the last independently owned foundation companies in North Texas and the exclusive installer of the Chance helical pier system. Call Hargrave Foundation Repair at 972-442-3415. That's 972-442-3415. Hargrave Foundation Repair, 972-442-3415. Alex Guthrie here for my friends at Total Air and Heat. Did you know a typical AC unit runs enough hours in a year equal to a car running 60,000 miles? Total Air and Heat recommends that you tune your system and have it safety checked every 6 months to ensure peak efficiency, proper operation, and increase the life of the system. Need a new air conditioning and heating system? No problem. Total Air and Heat can replace your equipment with the best equipment on the market today. Train. And you know it's hard to stop a train. So for the best heating and air conditioning contractors in North Dallas and Plano for the past 60 years, call my friends at Total Air and Heat, 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020. Or visit them online at totalair.com. Total Air and Heat. So what does a garage door do besides enhance your home, protect your family, and secure your vehicles? Well, when you contact the pros at Windsor Door, you'll learn how a truly high-quality garage door company can make a difference. Insulated doors, carriage-style doors, steel and custom wood, Windsor Door has them all and much, much more. And nothing makes a garage door work better than a high-quality opener. That's why the folks at Windsor Door only use LiftMaster garage door openers. And it's no wonder LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Only LiftMaster has patented MyQ technology, which alerts you if you forget to close your garage door and lets you close it from anywhere, anytime with built-in Wi-Fi technology. It also has battery backup, so you can get in even when the power's out. So contact a Windsor Door dealer near you at windsordoor.com. Welcome back to Remodel Revolution Radio. We're talking tight houses, making them tighter. How tight are we going to make houses? How energy efficient are they going to make us make houses? There's a confluence of building science that has to come together. We can make them tight, but we have to keep them safe.
Correct.
And this is going to be a problem, not that we can't do it. It's keeping the trades and keeping our people trained. I've talked about this recently with someone else where I'm looking at I'm talking to people because I remodel houses, and people will say, well, we decided we want to foam the attic. Why? Well, because we had a guy tell us we should foam the attic. Well, why did he tell you to foam? Why foam? Is the rest of your house foam? Well, no. Well, so why foam the attic? Well, because he said it was a great idea. Well, okay, that sounds like a great idea to me. And so there's a whole lot of reasons why that's a bad idea, actually.
Right.
And so we have this potential problem with people making bad decisions that are harmful. And we've got a lot of work to do to catch the industry up. And this is in a lot of different aspects of the building industry, incidentally, of bringing our trades up to speed with technology that's happening.
And the building departments.
Yeah.
Because the building departments don't understand the new technology. They're the last ones to learn about it. So you have to go and train them to understand that, what you've been inspecting for 20 years is not the same thing as what we're doing now, and get them to understand that, because they care about health and safety and they care about the structure of the house. So they have to make sure that they're educated as well. That some of the things that I do is educate them on the new technology. So when they go see it, you're not getting red tagged right off the bat because they don't understand it.
Well, and those guys have they've got a big responsibility, and they've got a whole lot of stuff that they've got to process. Just think about it when you walk out on a job site as a building inspector, male or female. We've got them both now.
Oh yeah.
And they've got a whole lot to process, and there's a lot of guys and gals, builders and remodelers, that are pretty good at disguising things, and they're more than willing to do it. And so they've got to be kind of cops and inspectors at the same time. And I'm truly concerned about some of the ability and willingness of the people actually doing the work to, keep up with the technology and not create a bigger problem. So Duffy, sealing the out. So if Coy comes in and he does this Aero Barrier, he comes in and he does this Aero Barrier inside, and he completely seals up the inside. And you come in and you do the outside, and we've really just created this capsule, right?
Right.
what how tight can you make that house? Can you make that sucker like 100% tight?
The Aero Barrier has the capability to get it to like a net zero reading.
A net zero.
Yeah. Like-
Just with the Aero Barrier, but you're the insulation guy. You're the wall guy.
Right. And what we're doing is we're doing the stage 1 polyseal from inside the house,
Right.
you know, corners, tees, windows, doors, plate lines, penetrations, etc. And then the house is insulated, and then it's drywalled and taped, and then the Aero Barrier, which we do. You've already had the conversation with the builder. Where do you want to go? And the mechanical contractor's already been involved in that, so he's done his sizing correctly.
So if you foam a house, and you foam the walls, and you do you foam the walls, you foam the attic. I mean, you really are doing a net zero, and you do the Aero Barrier. I don't know how many you can get it much tighter.
Well, I've seen houses that have been foamed. As a matter of fact, we just did a house up in Longview, Texas, and the house was fully encapsulated in the attic and in the walls, and the house came in right around 2.5 air changes per hour.
2.5. Really?
Yeah, and I've had some houses down in San Antonio and Austin that we tested where they just spray foamed the deck and then blown in the insulation in the walls, and those houses were coming in at 4.5 air changes per hour. So there's really no guarantee, because you're putting a blanket approach on a house, but if it doesn't really seal the house, or if you have humidity or water in those wall cavities, then the foam water is like kryptonite to spray foam, so it will deteriorate. So there's no way to know behind that foam if it really air sealed the house. If it's done properly, it works great.
Uh-huh.
The reason why that this technology is really important to a company like mine that sells fiberglass insulation is that we are not a air permeable product. So once you take the air out of the wall, then we're looking at R value. R value is R value once the air is not moving in the wall. And what's benefit about our product is we can provide the highest R value in that wall cavity for cost benefits. The only thing that gives you a higher wall R value in a wall would be closed cell spray foam, and that is not an air permeable product and something you don't want to put in a hot, humid climate. So, for instance, if you're doing open cell in a wall, you're going to get about an R13 in a wall cavity.
So what's the difference between open cell and closed cell foam?
Closed cell is more of a structural, air permeable, kind of like a cooler, let's say, or one of those plastic cups that you put your coffee in. So there's no way for air or water or anything to move in and out there. And
that's why it stays hot.
Correct. The open cell is considered permeable, but it does stop air from coming through. It slows it down a lot faster than any other
But it's
product.
got bubbles.
Correct. And, you're talking about chemistry, basically. So you're putting an A and B side together, and you're becoming a chemist in your house as you're spraying it. And so we make foam. We make foam for the outside of the house. So we have to go through strict standards. That house it's got to be in an air-controlled room, and it has to off-gas for 30 days before we can even bring it out to the market. So now we're having these same contractors do the same thing, but you're doing it in an uncontrolled environment and asking them to control the environment and make the same product that we do in a warehouse, and we're EPA tested.
Where they're mixing it on site. It
Right.
has to mix with heat. And I have seen some disaster, or heard actually, the guys I've used have, fortunately for me, knew how to do it right. But there's some people out there that don't.
Yeah. Especially when you have a technology like that that's growing as fast as you can. We see a lot of these contractors, we call them buck in a truck, out there having no experience, not knowing what they're doing. I've seen guys actually blow up their machines because they're spraying it so hot, because it comes in over 1,000 degrees when you're spraying it in that wall. If you don't know what you're doing, it can be detrimental. So
Sure.
There's risk involved in it. And the reason why we, like Duffy and quality insulation, they're considered what we have a program called a CEE program, and it's called a certified energy expert. So we take contractors in different markets and we teach them the building science behind about what we do in our products and our technology. So when they're plugging up a hole, we're teaching them why they're plugging up the hole, not just that they're plugging up the hole. So by doing that, we're able to give them a 10-year product and install warranty on all of our products because they go through intense training. They're audited twice a year. They go through a lot of stuff so they can actually go in there and do that. So when they saw this technology and saw how easy it really was, they said, we're in. So
you're talking about the Aero
the
Barrier.
Aero Barrier, yeah.
So how does water and foam work together if someone goes up and let's say they foam an attic rafters? Let's say they go up and they just arbitrarily foam those rafters and water gets in. I have heard about some serious problems with rot and things like that, where water gets trapped between the foam and the roof decking and things like that. Have you been experienced any of that?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different areas with that because, matter of fact, we have a house in Longview, Texas. We put two homes next to each other. One, we have what we call a box netted solution. So it's a fabric that's netted onto the rafters, and we can blow insulation underneath the roof deck and get up to an R49 underneath there. It works great in certain parts of the U.S. California, it's taking off. Here, we can park cars in our attics, so the roof pitches are so high, labor intensive, it doesn't really work. But we went back and forth, and we have about 70.
Explain the box netting.
So it's a net. So you've seen your traditional blow-in wall, right?
Uh-huh.
So what this net does is it goes past the stud, and it has an L shape on the back of the fabric, and you can staple it together. And once that netting is in, you can blow in fiberglass past the stud
and still have air barrier.
And the thing is, it's breathable. So if there is a leak in that roof deck, it's going to come through the insulation. You're going to find it a lot quicker. If you have open cell up in there, it will come through, but by the time it gets through that area, your roof's pretty much rotted at that point. So what we try to educate them, whether they're even using our system with fiberglass or whatever you're putting in that roof deck, if you don't control the environment in that attic and you don't really condition that attic with cold air or dehumidification, you're going to see stratifications up in the rafters. So, we're seeing them now in certain areas. The technology is still new. So by the time we get to that point where you see an epidemic of attics rotting, then it's going to be too late at that point. So we're at the point where we're trying to show them, if you're going to do this, to do it right. We have another house in Wichita Falls where we did the same exact system, but we put a diffusion port up in the rafters. So that way, what the diffusion port does, it takes the humidity out and the hot air out, but it doesn't let it in. That could work.
I did one here where I built a room. It was an addition over a garage. It was a big deal, but I did, and this is when this was brand new technology, but I put a diffusion port, I guess you call it diffusion port. I don't know what we called it, but anyway, we foamed it, and we put these vents in so it would vent above the foam between the rafters, and it worked beautiful. Yeah. And the only complaint we ever had was from the workmen, because it was in the wintertime and the thing would get so hot, it made them crazy. And it took nothing. I mean, that thing was so efficient. It was incredible. But you were right. We had to think through all of that, and that is the problem. And I've had friends that when people first started using foam, and they were going up into these structures, and they were just randomly foaming everything. And then they'd call me up and say, we're having all these problems. We're having trim popping loose and things moving, and we don't understand why. And I go, well, because you didn't think about all of the areas you're filling with foam that need air. You can't just fill everything with foam. It's not like that. They just don't get it.
And on top of it, I've seen customers call me up and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, spray my roof deck right now. I said, do you have an open or closed combustion air conditioning unit?
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, well, it's open combustion. I said, well, you're not going to want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
explain.
So if you have a closed combustion unit, that means that the gases and everything in your air handler is being vented directly out to the house. If you have an open combustion unit, all that gases and everything is just going to be trapped in your attic. And where is it going to go? It's going to go directly into your house.
Well, so a normal old-timey type water heater or heater, gas heater, draws air from the attic to get oxygen to the flame and the flame in the pilot. And it draws air from the attic. It's got a pipe that goes up through the roof that takes out all the carbon monoxide and all the off gassing, and it works fine. But once you seal that attic, you don't have all that oxygen. You don't have a way to get all of that out of there. You have to actually create a space for that, or you get a 90% efficient, I think it's 90% efficient unit that has its own contained system for that.
Correct.
And so you can't just arbitrarily do this. You have to think through all of these things. We talk about this all the time. I still see it happening. And it's people giving bad advice. Now, what about mixing foam and non-foam insulation in houses? Using foam in part of the house and using blown in or bat insulation in other parts of the house. Is there a problem with that?
No, I mean, what's become popular to help cost is blow in the walls. They call it a hybrid system. They blow fiberglass in the walls and then they'll spray foam their attic. That can work. You still have to make sure that you do the proper things and condition that attic, get the humidity out. If you do those, it works. There's some areas where I think foam works great, especially if you have a crawl space. Trying to insulate and air seal a crawl space, very difficult to do. And there's really no true solution to try to air seal an old crawl space.
Now, I've got to tell you, I've had this discussion with people, and in this part of the country, insulating a crawl space, I just don't think is a great idea, especially in an old house. They were not made to be insulated. They were made to not be insulated. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to explore that a little more, because the opposite is also true, because we're designing houses to have insulated crawl spaces.
Right.
And so I'm not always right. Most of the time I'm right, especially if you ask me, but not nearly as much if you ask my wife. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more of Remodel Revolution Radio. Don't go away. The good-looking guy. We'll be back. So what does a garage door do besides enhance your home, protect your family, and secure your vehicles? Well, when you contact the pros at Windsor Door, you'll learn how a truly high-quality garage door company can make a difference. Insulated doors, carriage-style doors, steel and custom wood, Windsor Door has them all, and much, much more. And nothing makes a garage door work better than a high-quality opener. That's why the folks at Windsor Door only use LiftMaster garage door openers. And it's no wonder LiftMaster is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Only LiftMaster has patented MyQ technology, which alerts you if you forget to close your garage door and lets you close it from anywhere, anytime, with built-in Wi-Fi technology. It also has battery backup, so you can get in even when the power's out. So contact a Windsor Door dealer near you at windsordor.com. Alex Guthrie here for my friends at Total Air and Heat. Did you know a typical AC unit runs enough hours in a year equal to a car running 60,000 miles? Total Air and Heat recommends that you tune your system and have it safety checked every 6 months to ensure peak efficiency, proper operation, and increase the life of the system. Need a new air conditioning and heating system? No problem. Total Air and Heat can replace your equipment with the best equipment on the market today. Train. And you know it's hard to stop a train. So for the best heating and air conditioning contractors in North Dallas and Plano for the past 60 years, call my friends at Total Air and Heat, 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020. Or visit them online at totalair.com. Total Air and Heat. Some people think the only thing worse than calling the dentist is calling the foundation repairman. That's why I recommend Hargrave Foundation Repair. Cracks in the walls, doors that won't close, give the folks at Hargrave Foundation a call. Now, sometimes it's not the foundation at all. That's why you need an honest, proven company. You see, understanding the soils and weather is a must for a lifetime repair. Family owned and operated since 1968, Hargrave has seen it all. Hargrave Foundation Repair is fully licensed and insured, and their staff stays up to date on all the latest techniques and advances. So call one of the last independently owned foundation companies in North Texas and the exclusive installer of the Chance helical pier system. Call Hargrave Foundation Repair at 972-442-3415. That's 972-442-3415. Hargrave Foundation Repair, 972-442-3415. Welcome back to Remodel Revolution Radio.
I'm hungry.
Duffy gets no respect in this room.
I'm telling you what.
It's outside of
We're
this
not
room
gonna-
as well, so don't worry about it.
He thinks he's home already.
Duffy Dangerfield.
We're talking about insulated crawl spaces versus non-insulated crawl spaces, and whether or not. Now, my opinion, being an old, born and raised in this area in pier and beam homes and remodeling them my entire life, and remodeling houses that were not built for air conditioning and were built to breathe. My view on those houses is let them breathe. That's how they were built, and that's how they work best. It's how they don't rot. That's why they last 100 years. They don't rot. They don't have problems. And then you introduce a forced air conditioning system, and then you start adding insulation where it wasn't intended to be, and all of a sudden they're calling us up going, well, I've got mold problems and I got this problem, that problem. Well, of course you do. You're introducing things into the house it wasn't designed to have. On the other hand, if you build a new house and you have a crawl space, by all means, if you want to seal it for energy efficiency and other reasons, what's your advice?
Seal it. I mean, there's different ways of doing it. We look at it as I look at a crawl space the same way as I look at an attic. You still have to make sure that you dehumidify it. You make sure that it's conditioned. You got to make sure that it's breathable, because especially out here in Texas. I mean, I always look at Texas as like living with someone with like Tourette's. I mean, it's like 106 degrees one day and it's snowing the next. So you just never know what you're going to get.
I thought about it like that, but I wouldn't have. Not like exactly how I would have. But okay.
But you have extreme temperatures. When I first moved here, it was 76 degrees, and then the next 2 days later, it was snowing. So
Right.
you have extreme temperature switches out here. So you still have to put whatever you're going to put there to make it work. You have to make sure it's breathable and that it's going to be able to dry. You got to have that drying capability, because if you don't, you're going to have rot.
Right.
But you still want to insulate it, because when you're designing your HVAC for a room, no different than if you're underneath a garage, they're measuring R value on your walls and on your ceilings. And if you don't insulate your subfloor, you're going to get hot spots. That's one of the biggest complaints I get in an existing house is I have an uncomfortable room. I said, okay, well, are you over a garage? Yeah. And we go take a look at with a thermal gun or something, and the insulation's like got a gap this between your floor.
And there's other things that you have to think about with a pier and beam home. And we've changed the way that our subflooring is different than it used to be. And so we use a solid plywood now, where we used to use 1x6.
Right.
And so air doesn't get in there like it used to. There's all kinds of things that we've changed, and it's different. And I really appreciate you guys being here today. It's been a lot of fun. I thought I was going to have to kick you out after about 20 minutes. And here we've sat here for an hour and talked about this stuff. This is great. I really appreciate it. And I really think that the Aero system is going to be great. It's really exciting.
Yeah,
to-
I've
to
been air
have that.
sealing houses for 15 years, and this is probably the first system that I've seen where it really simplifies what you're doing, and it makes it easier for you to build a home and air seal it to the level you want to go. And I had to see it first for myself. I mean, I've been in the energy consulting business for 15 years, and I've done testing for hundreds of products through Building America. And this is the first air sealing product that I've seen where it's truly that easy. I mean, it's that simple.
Duffy, how do people get in touch with you to find out about this and get this for themselves?
Quality Insulation. My cell number is 214-799-3780.
Gary Neidert, thank you so much for coming in today and spending the day.
My pleasure.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
It was awesome. We had a great time today.
we did. We did.
And you've got what coming up?
We've got the Fort Worth Home and Garden Show coming up August 17 through 19 at the Will Rogers Memorial Center.
That's awesome. And how do people get in touch with you?
Call me direct, 972-771-7899.
And thank you, Mr. Greg Lindemood, our producer, and the God in Duffy's head, the God in Duffy's head. And thank you to my crack research team, Mrs. Guthrie. She's always making sure that I stay aware and looking good. Yes, I know.
And Greg, one thing too, I want to let you know that August 8th and 9th is this Texas Sunbelt show. It's the biggest show.
Sunbelt show, yeah.
We will have a booth there talking about this product as well. So if they want to come by the booth, we'll be there.
And I'll be down there as well.
Great.
Yeah. And also check out my website at remodelrevolutionradio.com. Send me a message, Alex at remodelrevolutionradio.com. Check out the podcast. You can find it on Spreaker. You can find it on Spotify. Check out my blog. Check out me. Check out Twitter at Remodel Rev. Check me out there. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic week. Until next week, this is Alex Guthrie signing off. We'll see ya.